artists are looking for ways to add more texture to their paintings, and there are a few ways that you can do this. Of course, you can always do more impasto mark making and add more paint to your brush or to your painting knife when you apply it to your surface. But an easier way is to incorporate some painting mediums, specifically the textural mediums, such as Atelier regular gel, Atelier heavy gel, or Atelier molding paste. These products are available in 250 milliliters, 500 milliliters, and liters. Now, while they may look similar when I open them up, they do all perform a little bit differently. I'm going to start with the gels. The regular gel is a milky white gel that will dry translucent. It does come in both a gloss as well as a matte finish. This one is our gloss, and I'm going to show you on this red background that I've already prepared so that you can see what happens. One thing to know about these gels is that they dry clear. So if I apply some of this regular gel, it'll look a little bit milky, but trust me, when this dries, it'll dry nice and clear. In this case, with a gloss sheen. Now, the regular gel has a consistency of unpigmented paint. So if I mix some with my medium here, I can create these beautiful impasto glazes and really help extend the life of my paint, kind of give a little bit more bang for my buck. One of the fun things about painting with gels and pastes is that you can apply them in so many different ways. You can apply them like I am right now, directly on top of a piece. You can mix them directly with your paint, or you can apply them on top of a dried painting. And I'm going to show you all these different ways. So here you can see the regular gel just kind of adds to the mark making ability of the paint. Next, I'm going to show you the heavy gel. Now, the heavy gel is good for those structural marks that you might want to make. Put this down. It's going to be a little bit heavier, thus the name heavy gel, and it can be applied with both a brush as well as a palette knife. This one also is going to go on milky but dry clear, but this one you can see is already a little bit stiffer, a little bit heavier than that regular gel. In this case, I'm going to add a little bit of pigment blue. There we go, my cobalt blue in here. This is a wonderful medium to use when you want to add more life, a little bit more oomph. It can also be used to add some really strong mark makes to it. And because this is a nice gloss gel, this one will dry with that nice gloss sheen. Here I'm just using my brush, but if I wanted to, I can go back into it, scrape into it, and really kind of build up some different surface textures. This is why you never really want to throw out those old brushes, because even some stiff brushes can create some really beautiful marks. What I'll do here is I'll take some of my gel. I'm going to apply it more straight with a painting knife so I can get a nice smooth effect. And I'll add just a little bit of my cobalt blue in here. Nice semi-transparent paint. Mix that out. And now with one of my old dry brushes, I can kind of go in and really build up my surface interest in a different way. Again, the heavy gel, which is available in a gloss as well as a matte, can be applied on top of your paint, mixed directly with your paint, or applied to the surface of your painting, and you just apply paint on top. I encourage you to try all these different methods of application because they're all going to result in a slightly different visual look. Now, another medium which is wonderful to use is the molding paste. And the molding paste has a nice kind of neutral finish to it, kind of to a white, to a nice neutral gray. And what's good about this is that this is very heavy. The molding paste is opaque. So if I apply it, it's going to go on the color that it is. So just be aware that if you decide to mix it directly with your paint, like I will right now, it can affect your values. Now this is something that you would definitely want to apply with a painting knife or other strong type of mark making tool, because it is designed to be strong. This is how you can really get some nice shape to your piece. Get this off here, clean my brush off here, my tool, and really apply it. A lot of times I like to use the modeling compound just when I start a painting so that I can really build up that surface texture right at the very beginning. And then I just paint as usual right on top. It really can create some wonderful grounds for painting. All of these mediums, the regular gel, the heavy gel, and the molding paste, are also wonderful glues for collage. So if you've got some pieces that you want to adhere to a piece, by all means, try one of these. Again, so many different ways that you can incorporate these mediums to build some texture into your work. Now I want to show you how I could use some of these products on an actual painting. I've created a non-representational piece, which I think is a lot of fun, but I want to add some more dimension to it, because right now it's a little flat. Now in this area over here, I've already added some of my regular gel, so it's just a little bit more textured. And I want to show you what it looks like when you apply paint on top of a gel medium. What I'm going to use this time is that I'm going to use some of our Atelier Free Flow paint. And I'm going to take some of our permanent green light and I'm going to apply it right over here. And you can see how it just kind of brings some more dimension to the piece. I'm going to take my rag here, wipe some back. And you can see how the paint kind of gets into the nooks and crannies of the texture that I've started to put down and create. Techniques like this are wonderful for some of these, paints, our free flow paints. They're really great in that regard, that they flow and they're fluid and they can be very useful in some of these applications. So already I'm starting to get a little bit more dimension into the piece. It's not so flat, with regards to color. Now what I want to do is that I want to apply some of the heavy gel. This time it's going to be the heavy gel gloss. And I'm going to take that old kind of brush, just dip it in here. And what I want to do is, in this area, just going to create a nice kind of swirly pattern. Make a circle in here, a nice spiral. And right now it's not pigmented, it's just kind of going on clear. And now what I want to do, clean my brush, of course, is I'm going to add some of our cadmium yellow, kind of add a couple drops into it. And now I'm going to take my brush again, and I just want to swirl it into the medium. What's really interesting is when you start to mix some of the free flow paints in with some of the gel mediums, you can create some really interesting visual effects because it kind of builds up. Add a little bit more gel so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Because remember, this is all going to be drying translucent. So even though it looks a little bit milky right now, all that white part you see is going to just be translucent type of color, but it's going to have that color on top of it. And this will become much more apparent to you once you see this when this painting is dry. So now I've got a nice light passage over here. But what I'm thinking I really want to do now is that I want to get some really strong texture in here. You can see that I have a strong circle type of pattern going on here, and this is where I'm just going to use a stencil. I could, of course, drop it in. I could try and make my own circles, but if I have a stencil, if I have a tool, I might as well use it. So I'm just going to apply this down. This time I'm going to use the molding paste. I'm going to take some color, or some of my medium first. I'm going to mix it up with a little bit of my Atelier Interactive in this case. And I'm using quinacridone magenta. And I'm using my palette knife because this is pretty strong. I'm going to apply it down here. And I don't mind that my paint isn't thoroughly mixed in with my medium at this point. I kind of want to have more of that interest here. I'm going to just cover it all up. There we go. Get it in there. I'm going to lift up carefully, straight up. And you can see that I have some really interesting dimension going on here. And I'll just repeat that pattern over here. I have a little bit of a repeat going on. Now, I'm using something that I found in the toolbox as my stencil, but you can certainly go and buy some of those wonderful stencils that are available or make your own. And this is a fun way to really add some dimensional life to your art. And it's super fast, super easy. Mix in some of that original transparent yellow that I had. And because this is the molding paste, this is all going to dry nice and opaque. It's not going to dry clear like it's going to when I use my regular gel or my heavy gel. And maybe I'll just carve some more texture in here. One thing that it's very important to know if you're working with the Atelier range is that the molding paste, the regular gel, and the heavy gel are all considered traditional mediums. That means that when these dry, they dry. You will not be able to reopen or interact or unlock your paint again. However, because you're adding more texture and creating more impasto paint, your paint is going to take longer to dry from the beginning, so you have more time to work with it. It's a little bit of a give and take. If you have any questions or if you want some more information on any of these mediums, the Atelier regular gel, the heavy gel, or the molding paste, please visit our website, www.atelieracrylic.com.